We're gonna get a trigger. We're gonna do it. We're getting a trigger. No way, no way. We did it. We did it. Cyclonic Rift. Not really the most exciting target. I stole a negate. Come on, game. I hit 3 lands. Alright. We are here with Laughing Jasper Flint. 3 mana 4/3. Lizard Rogue. Creatures you control but don't own are Mercenaries, in addition to their other types. And at the beginning of your upkeep, you exile the top X cards of your opponent library, where X is the number of outlaws you control. Outlaws are right there on the top right, or I guess in the center of the screen. Assassins, mercenaries, pirates, rogues, and warlocks. Those are all the creature types that are outlaws. So you just run a bunch of those creature types. Probably mostly pirates. It seems to be kind of the strongest amongst those anyways. So a lot of pirates, but there's plenty of the other ones as well. And yeah, you can steal cards from your opponent, equal to the amount of outlaws you have. And it's kind of like Ren's Resolve, but your opponent's deck. What's really interesting, though, is this is a crime. So, it's funny to say that. When you do this, it's a crime, so it's maybe a way to get Kervik to work. It'd be kind of nice. This is one of the more popular commanders from the new set, as is, so maybe there's something there. Same with that other one. That Vadmir. Vadmir is also a crime, so if you play this and then play your commander, it just kind of get this to happen every turn. That's pretty cool. But we're not all in on committing crimes, because it doesn't seem to be that appealing. Magda seems interesting as well. It is not an outlaw, but it comes in before your commander, ideally, right? And then you can maybe make a treasure every turn, and that's extremely helpful when you're trying to cast a bunch of cards off your opponent's deck. Which is why I'm running all of the mana rocks on 2. Because I really want to make sure that I have mana to, you know, not only cast my own spells, but my opponent's spells as well. Especially if I have like 3 or 4 creatures in play, we're getting into loot territory, right? Exiling top 3 cards a turn from your own library, or your opponent's library. If you can't cast everything, it feels kind of bad, right? You just... I mean, value is value, but you don't want to drop a bunch of value because you're torn between your own spells and your opponent's spells. These are the cards. Yeah, the reason they're not crafted yet is just because these are the cards I will be crafting for this deck. I just might as well say that. There was another thing in here that I thought was interesting. Where are you? Oh, right, Changelings. That's it. Changelings have every creature type, so just like any sort of tribal-based deck, you just run these. It's been a while, I think, since I've played a Changeling Matters kind of thing, but I mean, I'm pretty sure Changelings are outlaws, so we're gonna run those. Moderate amount of removal, and yeah, that's it. We just play outlaws and steal cards from our opponent's deck, and hopefully that's good enough with our own cards. Oh no, I didn't name the deck. Steal stuff. There we go. Alright, let's go. And my opponent queued into a deck that cannot in any way, shape, or form protect its stuff. Also, Gonti fizzled. Because of course it did. Because of course it did. If Gonti didn't fizzle and I had like one additional removal spell, that game would have looked very different. I also got rid of 4 lands off the top of my opponent's deck. They were going to draw 4 lands in a row. It was literally worst case scenario. It could not have been worse if I wanted it to be. It's just unbelievable. Alright, well, turn 1 Ragavan. What does this do? Sacrifice a permanent, counter, jury dies, blah blah blah. Alright. Sure. Do we have the 1 mana answer? Looks like we do. Yep. Well, it's not. It's actually not a 1 mana answer. It doesn't work. All right. So I play this, and I swing. Yes. Sure. Oh, that was disgusting. Oh my goodness. That was insane. I couldn't have asked for a better card. Oh my goodness. Whoa. Oh my... Oh. Oh. Oh, no. Oh, jeez. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh. That's bad. That's just... Ragavan has player death touch, dude. You can't convince me otherwise. That's kind of neat. It kind of gives me blue-white control vibes, and this is just an afterthought, which is not a good sign, but let's find out. No, no, yeah, no. No, 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 no. Yep, this is definitely blue-white control vibes. I guess I'll play this. I don't really think Freebooter is getting me anywhere, really. Let's play this. Okay, they could still have Wash Away. There's not really anything to do about that. Tiny Bones can steal... Wait, no, it's non-land permanent. I can't steal fetch lands. Well, I came here to play my commander, so I guess I'm going to play my commander. I guess I can also play Tiny Bones, actually. Hold on. I can do both. And we just have to not die to a board wipe from whatever we're playing. Actually, if they just play their commander, they're kind of fine as well, right? It is just a big creature that stands in my way. Okay. Sure. Loot with it, please. That'd be great. Okay. That's good. Alright, we got Ujin. That's hilarious. I can't play it, though. I guess I just play... Yeah, let's just lead with this. What's going on in that hand there? Cyclonic Rift. Alright, let's temporarily hide that. So, my opponent's probably going to block. Let's do this, and then cast Urza. Sure. They're willing to drop the Teferi to kill Tiny Bones, which means I can't get Tiny Bones myself at some point. Oh, that's fair, I guess. I would have loved to have played Ujin there. So their Skyclave probably has to eat my freebooter, I would assume. Eating my commander is decent, I guess, but it's not the most amazing thing to do. I can just simply recast it. Nope, they don't even think about it. Alright. Fair enough. I don't know if I would do that. Simply recast it, right? Yep. Then cast our 0 mana artifact because of Urza. That's funny. Oh, I missed a damage. I could have swung with a freebooter. What have I done? Their commander does a pretty good job at gaining a bunch of life, though. Okay, they could find Swords to Plowshares, which I don't think I care too much about. Replicating Ring is actually really good with... Okay, they're going to stifle instead of swords, my commander. They're going to stifle the trigger. I feel like that means they do not have Swords to Plowshares in their deck. Because I don't really know why you would ever do that. I don't get it. Alright. Let's make that. Let's play you. And swingies. So you, and that's it. They can pick up the Stifle again with this card and Stifle once more. But again, I feel like Swords to Plowshares would have been 10 times better. And they didn't do that. Alright, we did it. Look at that. My opponent was on the back foot and I think got a little too caught up in trying to stop this trigger. Like, there's a good chance, well, I shouldn't say good chance, but there's a moderate chance that maybe the trigger isn't that useful. I mean, it's probably always going to be somewhat useful, right? It's, what is it, it's 7 or something stupid. But, you can't worry about this when you're dying to the board. You have to, like, you just have to accept that this is going to happen. Um, solve the equation getting Stifle means their deck is not blue-white control. They didn't find, like, Supreme Verdict or something, right? So, that's, interesting. Cool. Exciting. Turn 1 Liliana is good, but it has nothing to do with my commander. But it's already twice as strong as my commander strategy, so I guess I'm just keeping it. Just Dark Ritual, the old Liliana. This shuts down a lot of Menadorks too that my opponent might want to play, and now just can't play them. Nope, not that one. I'm gonna really want to kill that, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this. This is a 3/3 with haste. Non-token creatures you control have. Create a copy. Okay. Well, I mean, I just snap block this then. It's fine by me. This is not castable alongside... Well, it is a cron... No. I don't have time to cast it. So let's play this here. And do I play this, or do I just abrade this? I'm going to go ahead and take the risk and just cast my 5/5. Yeah, alright. So we just Dark Ritual Liliana, and our opponent can't do anything about it, but didn't really get to use my commander there, but alright, I'll take it. Didn't really get to do the thing. But we gotta take what we can get at this point. I could have actually played my commander instead. Could have kept the 2/2 on top and played that with a braid. I had options. Magda, removal, diabolic thing with nothing to really sacrifice. But we're on the play. Obeka's a problem. Surely it's not a game-destroying problem, but we'll find out real soon. Alright, Magda. And then Black Market Connections is a really good turn 3 play. It's better than my commander as a turn 3 play, especially against Grixis for the 3rd time. I think I'm actually going to play this instead of my commander, because pulling ahead is just more guaranteed with the connections than my commander is, by like a landslide. Oh, that's interesting. They got a tap land. Alright. I really didn't want to see a Mana Rock there, but I guess it is what it is. Dark Ritual. I'm probably going to Dark Ritual something right now, because I want to leave up removal for their commander. And then, yeah, I got nothing to do but this, and we pass. I just need to have... Oh, these are outlaws too, by the way. The Black Market Connection changelings are also outlaws. That was something people weren't aware of there. We're gonna get a trigger. We're gonna do it. We're getting a trigger. No way, no way. Sacrifice a token. Get that out of here. Get it out of the way. We did it. We did it. Cyclonic Rift. Not really the most exciting target with that, actually. But you know what? It is what it is. Alright, so I'll bounce, I guess, the ring? And swingies? And play... I already played my land, right? So, pass. I could have Cyclonic Rifted the token, but I didn't wait to cast my spells. So they can fire up their commander and swing, but they have nothing to upkeep trigger with it, so it doesn't matter. Okay. No surprise there. Alright, As Foretold is kind of useless once you have a totally empty hand. Doesn't really do anything. So replay my commander, and then... I mean, yeah. And then, do nothing else. My opponent doesn't have any real upkeep triggers, so I don't really feel concerned about it. Putting counters on Aspertol doesn't actually do anything. I'm at 4. I'm basically dead now. Let's play blockers. I need to Diabolic Intent some kind of life gain card here. I don't really know what's in my deck that actually gains life. I don't really know if there's really anything that does. Nighthawk does. It has to survive. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at, I guess. Okay, Nighthawk it is. And I have to cast it this turn, preferably off the not Mana Confluence. Going to 2 doesn't seem like a good idea, to be honest with you. And no attacks. Oh, I jacked it up. It had haste. Oh, come on, Lamont. Why do you even play the game? What are you doing, dude? Why do I even play? It had haste. I'm so stupid. Like that. I stole a negate. Come on, game. Come on, game. Have to swing. I have to swing. And then I can Infernal Grasp Shieldred. Do they have a creature in their graveyard? They don't, so even the trigger won't do anything. Play this tapped. Play you. And leave up Infernal Grasp. Well, I can't really afford my opponent to draw a good spell in response, so I'm gonna Infernal Grasp right now. I can't afford them to, like, top deck a counter spell, and then I just lose, because I didn't stop that. Okay. They have a redraw with the Mind Stone, if they want to. Looks like they do? Don't know what's going on. Okay. And it's a Bone Horde. Excellent. And it's a hasting Bone Horde. If I saw that my creature had haste and I swung, I would have had way more health, but we're still probably going to lose this. But I obviously didn't give myself any kind of out. I just decided I was going to die. This is just so bad. I literally, like, I finally get a trigger. Like, I finally get to use my commander, and I hit 3 lands. Like, okay. You got it. Guess I'm taking the ramp spell. At least the Shepherd is useless. That's always nice. What am I playing next turn? Acquisitions Expert? There's nothing in my opponent's hand I'm terribly concerned about, to be honest with you. Okay, that just makes my... Alright, I'm just gonna curve out with my stuff so I can, like, actually do something with my commander's ability. Just gonna play Outlaws. Alright, either my opponent missed a land drop, or, something like that. So it looks like Thought seizing the Mana Rock was correct. Yeah, we'll take it. Okay, so this is the second time in a row that I'm not going for like 90 minutes to 2 hours like I normally do because I'm just I'm doing nothing but losing, and it's not that I'm losing to one strategy. I'm losing to every single strategy. Um, Creature green ramp dork thing, which is 90% of the format, is completely destroying me. Grixis control, anything slow is destroying me, right? Like blue white control, Urion, or any kind of Nicol Bolas deck, which I saw like a bunch of Grixis control decks just now. I was able to win sometimes when people get like mana screwed, or I have a really good opener with like a dark ritual, or I get to thought seize a mana rock. But none of that has to do with my commander. None of it does. So the best thing to do, and the only thing that lets me really keep up with my opponents, is doing degenerate, cheesy, high power things early. Turn 1 Ragavan is another example. Turn 1 Ragavan is extremely devastating in relation to anything else I could possibly do. The few times I triggered my commander, I actually only stole lands. Like, there was 2 times in a row I stole 3 lands, and that doesn't do anything. I'm not getting value. It's hard to put more than like 3 outlaws in play. Your opponent have no answer to them, and no answer to your commander, right? Some of your outlaws, some of your creatures, don't really do that much on their own, so they can do a decent job personally of just ignoring some of it that you've put in play, like Changeling Outcast, for example. They just like let this exist, right? They don't really care. It's just another, count for this, and so there's some. Whenever you're in a position like that where you have a bunch of cards that really need your commander in play, your commander really needs to be very sticky or extremely high powered in its ability. This is not, right? So when you play stuff like this, and then you put this in play, the ability doesn't justify running Universal Automaton in your deck. It just doesn't justify this card. The ability is not good enough. And again, there's a pretty good chance you just hit a bunch of lands. And it's not like loot, right? Loot is your own cards, so you can play into your own cards. Stealing your opponent's cards, even if you hit things that are not lands, doesn't even do anything if you hit something like a counter spell, or you hit a removal spell, but you had a bunch in your deck already, so you can actually try to kill your opponent and stop their like commander and whatnot, right? Try to actually stay in the game with your own removal spells. Hitting your opponent's removal spell is great, but they also need something in play. The best thing to hit, really, and I guess that's kind of why the top part is on the text of the card, creatures you don't own but control are mercenaries. So you really want to hit creatures, so then this exiles more the next time, so on and so forth, right? But there's no scenario in historic Brawl. I don't actually. I think it's just called Brawl now. I think there's standard Brawl in Brawl, so I should just start calling it Brawl. But I think it still uses the historic rule set. There's no way. I don't actually think in the past. Well, it was in like an hour and 15 minutes that I hit any creature at all except Urza. I think there was one game where I hit an Urza from my opponent, the 3-mana 2/4 blue-white Urza. I think it was the only creature I hit with my commander. Which kind of, it feels bad. Like, I know I could have played against more creature-centric decks, and I just didn't. But creature-centric decks are kind of on the back foot in this format anyways, because there is a ton of highly efficient mass answers in basically every color. I mean, blue has like Cyclonic Rift, River's Rebuke. There's so many like really good answers to just honest creatures in play strategies that it's very difficult to do that. It's just hard to do that, and we're seeing that with this commander. We saw it yesterday with or whenever I upload it, the Kervik the Punisher strategy too, right? Like Playing your 3 mana commander that doesn't protect itself and requires other cards to literally do anything is terrible. This is terrible. And then you compare this to something like Liliana. It does not need any help. It just ticks away on its own on the side. It doesn't even need a creature to target. It can just kind of do its own thing. Actually, both Lilianas are just kind of fine ticking away, right? A cool wasn't ideal. I mean, it's a 4 mana 5/5, which is kind of why I liked it. I think it curves out nicely with my commander. It, helps me actually kill my opponent, but I'm not using its text box. It's just a big beater. That's also an outlaw. And it's a new card, so it felt like it was fine in here. Outlaws having haste. This is one of the stronger abilities. I know there's other cards that give everything haste, but that wasn't really my problem anyways, to be honest. Trying to kill my opponent with damage was kind of... It was something that I wasn't even really finding myself getting to that position. Right? Oh, I'm hitting my opponent with like 3 creatures a turn, and I'm... Like, I didn't even get to that point, like, ever. So I don't even know... Like, we could run Croxa. Croxa doesn't fix any of the problems, but it could absolutely be in here and probably be fine. I felt fine with the amount of cards I was getting thrown into my graveyard because there was just nothing but removal and counter spells. And there's not even a reliable way to put, like, Swiftfoot Boots on this. Like, you can't expect to have Boots and then get a turn. Like, you got through counter spells and you also didn't have, like, your, Cavernous Souls, and then, like, you go to equip it and they kill it anyways, or they just ignore it because half the time it ticks, it just steals lands. That's just not great, right? Hitting a bunch of lands would be fine. Actually, you know what? I don't even cast spells. Yeah, this doesn't let you play lands out of your opponent's exile. That's not very useful anyways, honestly, but it would be nice if it did let you play the lands. It doesn't let you play a land out of the pile. It's kind of strange, but it doesn't let you play a land. Where something like Loot lets you play, multiple lands a turn with, like, things like Azusa, Explore, and stuff, and it's your own deck, so the lands the lands are, like, on your color and stuff. It's like those 2 commanders. It's like those other commanders. It's the blue-white one. Whoops. Okay, apparently I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I didn't even have to. I don't know why I tried to look at them. I don't know why I tried to do that. It's the blue-white one where when you gain life, things are discounted by how much life you've gained. And then there's the other one where you lose life. Things are discounted by how much life you've lost. The one where you lose life winds up being stronger, right? And like, this is the antithesis of Loot. They're like mirrors of each other, right? One of them is your opponent's deck, one of them is your deck. Your opponent's deck is way less on theme with whatever you're doing. You can't pick your opponent. So if your opponent's playing blue-white control, the vast majority of things that you steal have nothing to do with what you're trying to do anyways. And if you can't cast half of them, you're not getting full value. Your opponent also needs to hit things in their deck like a 3-drop, right? You need to hit like a 3-drop or a 4-drop. If you're exiling 5-drops, you can't even cast them because you're on turn 4, let's say, in an ideal scenario. And you can't cast anything that's 4 and up anyways. So, like, it's so, like, the window of opportunity and then the results of what you hit are actually incredibly small. And again, I've played against this, I think 4 or 5 times, and it has never beat me. This has never beat me. It's actually, I don't think it's even come close to beating me personally. I never really thought about that. I thought maybe just the game turned in my favor. But now that I'm thinking about it, every deck that I was playing, there was plenty of times where I'm like, oh, go ahead and trigger this. You're not going to steal anything I'm concerned about. Like, what are you going to steal? A sweeper? You can't cast a sweeper. Why would you sweep your own board of outlaws? Like, it doesn't work. It probably needs 4 players and a slower format, or just a card in your deck and not your actual commander, so you have like a side sometimes value engine that sometimes hits a Mana Rock or a Llanowar Elves from your opponent. Or like a really good Cyclonic Rift on turn 11, but that's so far into the game that you're not going to expect that in a normal game that's one-on-one. So this is definitely a multiplayer commander. And you have access to much better outlaws, right? You don't have all the outlaws in the game because this is historic only. So, yeah, I cannot, yet again, I can't recommend the last two commanders. This is really no different than Kervik. But, it was, I mean, it's good to know. We're gonna swing and miss sometimes, right? That's just the price you pay for basically playing every commander. It just doesn't feel good to play pretty not good commanders, multiple times in a row. It doesn't feel good. I actually started to play kind of bad at the end of this. Like, I was making horrible mistakes that I normally don't think I do, which is funny, right? I did not feel like a mythic level ranked player by the end of this. I was like tuning out and not having a good time anymore. So, and to save myself the emotional distress and you guys watching me lose another 6 games in a row, I'm just going to call it quits here. But if you like the commander and have different ways to make it work, and you've somehow listened to me rant for the past 8 minutes, thank you for listening. Let me know if you have ideas for it. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.